Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello to you. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back today to London for part 3 of the series of videos with my project car, the Red Edition Ford Focus RS. We're completely overhauling this car. I love the Focus RS, that's why I've chosen it. Part 1, we went to the interior to fix the floors and bring it a bit more up to scratch. Part 2, I went over to Dub Customs to fit the Ventus Veloce carbon fibre Aero Kit that we can see today in all its glory and daylight. And for this video, we're going to be doing some small but significant parts. So number 1, we'll be taking it to Posh Wash to paint the wheels gold, the same gold as my Ford GT. Then I'm going to be going back to Dub Customs to install 1 or 2 further parts as well. So I'm quite excited for how this is going. Let's get the day going and finish off the first stage of the project. The funny thing is that while I've been taking some photos of the car, a whole load of horses have been walking past, which made me think of horsepower. At the moment, the Focus RS is completely stock in terms of the engine. The 2.3 litre 4-cylinder EcoBoost making 350 horsepower, but I think you can expect some changes on that front in the future. But what we've been doing so far is the visual side of things, the aerodynamic side of things, as you can see as I walk around it now. And the last installation was this carbon fibre Aero Kit from Ventus Veloce that we can now see in daylight. It makes the car more aggressive. The parts are all incredibly light. That was one of the most breathtaking things while we were installing it at Dub Customs, just how much lighter the new bonnet is than the stock bonnet. You can also see how it has the ducts for cooling and the louvres as well. Then down at the bottom of the front, the extended carbon fibre front splitter, the canards. This is my first car ever with canards. I love them. They just make it look super sporty. The side skirts are awesome. If you come around towards the rear as well, we've got the carbon fibre fixed rear wing on the top of the hatchback's rear deck, and down at the bottom, the diffuser, which in future is going to house a larger exhaust system, presumably some bigger exhaust tailpipes, and make more noise as well. Now, part 1 was to do the interior, so on the inside here, we went to Prototrim to completely retrim and refit the inside of this car with red and black Alcantara, with the seat pleating, with the contrast stitching, with the leather and Alcantara dashboard topper as well, the door cards that you can see going with the carbon of the Red Edition, even the top rolls at the top of the door cards also. But this really just brings, to my mind, a much smarter interior. One of the flaws with the Focus RS as it is, I mean, as a car to drive, it's great fun, but the interior was always ever so slightly lacking. Anyway, even back here, looks fantastic, so major shout out to Prototrim. So, we've done some parts of the interior, we've started on the exterior, but next up is to paint these wheels. So I might change the wheels in due course. I will certainly change the brake calipers, because the Brembo brakes come from factory in this unpainted finish, and it doesn't look very nice at all, to be honest. But what we'll do now is take the 19-inch forged wheels, head over to Posh Wash, and get them painted in the exact gold to match the GT. Step 1 at Posh Wash is to park the car up, put it up on axle stands so we can take the wheels off, and then they can be repainted and redone. But it's so cool to see the car moving. Actually, when the lights are on, it looks so menacing with the carbon fibre. This thing is just cool. The car is now up on its axle stands. We've taken all of the wheels off, so those will go away to be painted in the gold. Now remember, they can be reverted back to the satin black if it doesn't necessarily work, but this is a project car. This is about being unique and identifiable, so why not? Let's do it, see what it looks like, and if I regret it, I can always change it afterwards. So Posh Wash doing the honours, they'll take those away, and then we'll be back to see what this looks like with the new look wheels. I'm back at Posh Wash, where the RS now has its new gold wheels fitted and it's down on the ground. I'm just hiding behind this McLaren for the last few moments before reveal. Now, I'm kind of expecting there will be many of you that don't necessarily like this colour scheme, but remember, there's a reason for it, and on top of that, it's a project car. It's supposed to be unique and different. So let's take a look and fully reveal the RS with its new gold wheels, the red and gold bold colour scheme with the contrasting Ventus Veloce carbon kit. It's a tribute to the 1960s Alan Mann racing cars, just like my inbound Ford GT. In fact, 50 years ago, the spiritual predecessor to the Focus was the Escort, and in 1968, their Escort Mark I in red and gold was victorious in the BTCC, the same car we saw in the spec video for my Ford GT. So yes, I will have to paint the brake calipers. The silver unfinished colour does not work with the gold, but this is strong. I love it. So let's take the car over to Dub Customs to continue with the project. Ready to rock and roll, back at Dub Customs with the RS, where that little box has arrived with some new goodies to be installed. But also, while we're here, the AMG GTR is now receiving its first panels of yellow. We can take a look at that shortly. But before we do, a couple of you had noticed that when we did the interior trimming at Prototrim, the one thing we left was the steering wheel. So you can see the blue stitching, which obviously does not match with anything else on the custom interior of this car, because the plan all along was to change the stock steering wheel for this one from SS Tuning that is inside this box, where we have the custom carbon fibre and Alcantara steering wheel with moulded hand grips, the 12 o'clock painted stripe, the red accents that it has around it, all the usual controls and buttons, the carbon panel here in the centre, also the squared off bottom. Basically, that's just cool, and it's going to match up perfectly with the inside of this car, along with the new gear shift knob, which also is shaped with the carbon fibre and the shift panel up on the top. So these are going to be installed next, while we get the wheels and brakes off to get those painted as well, because, well, to be honest, like I said, silver does not really work. Those are going to go gloss black, so we'll get that sorted out, and then get the steering wheel on, which will match up properly with the dashboard and the seats and the interior. Let's have an update on the progress then with the Beast of the Black Hell. Although that name is going to be no more, the car is entirely transforming into what we're calling at the moment Solar Dub Yellow. The first panel, the driver's door, is complete, as well as the fuel cap behind that, but the entire car is going to turn into this very deep pearlescent colour. It's going to look absolutely magical. It's very similar to the AMG Solar Beam paintwork, the option that you could have if you wanted to spend £10,500 at the time I was doing the spec of this car. So I ordered it in black to do that colour over the top. That was always the intention. Honestly, we got this roll of vinyl that we're using now about 1.5 years ago, so it's been a long time coming, but now the whole car is transforming. And does it not look epic without a front number plate, by the way? Unfortunately, obviously, I have to drive it with a number plate on, and preferably also with a badge. But this is just a quick update on the progress. We will see more of that when more panels have been turned to yellow. Now, what we have here that's just arrived is a Focus ST that is wearing the SS Tuning wide arches. Now, this must be the single modification that the most of you have mentioned, the 4-corner wide arch kit that makes it 22mm wider per corner. Obviously gives the car a more sporty, aggressive presence. This car has 20-inch wheels as opposed to the standard 19s that you'll find on my RS, obviously with a wider offset as well to match up with the arches. This is the V1 of the SS Tuning kit. There's now a V2 with a slightly different design as well. But what do you think? Do you think I should make it a little bit wider? Is this a nice touch to add to my car? I think it works very well, the bonded parts onto the grey of this, but they would be slightly more pronounced against the race red. But I would love to hear your feedback. Do you think I should give it a wide body arch kit from SS Tuning to go with the steering wheel and the gear shift knob? Thoughts down below. And as if by magic, we have a new steering wheel. The SS Tuning steering wheel has been installed, and that fits so much more neatly with the interior of this car, with the red stitching, the red highlights, the red 12 o'clock stripe matching with the paintwork. Just needs to get the airbag installed, and then that side of things is set. Check it out, the installation of the new SS Tuning steering wheel is complete. And my goodness, does this not look awesome? It completely fits the car. So the airbag is back in place in the center. We've also got the new gear shift knob installed, but this steering wheel is completely at home here. The use of materials, so the carbon fiber that we have, for example, that matches up with the carbon of the boost gauges on the handbrake lever, on the door trim that you have there, the standard parts on the regular edition versions of the Focus RS. Then up top here, it's squared off, which is to do with the weight balance of the car, but it gives us a great view over the Prototrim dashboard topper that we have up here with the leather and Alcantara. The grips made out of Alcantara at the side with the red stitching, the red accents that continue, the carbon pieces on the left and right and around the bottom. This all ties in and matches perfectly with the shift knob down here, with the Alcantara, with the stitched leather from Prototrim, the red H pattern up on the top, the RS logo. It all feels very, very sporty, very at home, very nice. The same buttons, and in fact, I actually have the original wheel right here, a leather wheel, but as you can see, a substantial upgrade from this fairly normal wheel, but nice wheel, to this very, very sporty looking piece that we now have in the car. And if I just step out so you can see what that looks like from the outside, this is really, really awesome. I mean, that's what you're looking at when you're driving. Substantial piece, carbon fiber, I love it. Fits with the car perfectly. The next thing to be done are the RS logos. So there are 4 of these, one on either side of the carbon fiber rear spoiler. and then one on the front grille and one also on the boot. So we're doing them in gold to loosely match, of course, with the wheels. But it's quite difficult to do these because the RS logo on the left side of the spoiler is different to the right, and that's not the Ventus Veloce part, that's the same on the factory part. So you actually have to measure it out and try and make bespoke logos for every one of these badges, which is a little bit of a pain. So that's being done up top. The badge here on the boot is going to be done too, so it's currently the RS blue. But basically a blue highlight on a red car with some gold touches is a little bit too much, so we're going to try and make this gold and see how accurately we can get that, and then it will be time to finish off the calipers with all these badges done. Sanding down the calipers before we can paint them. And look what we've got here back on the car. We've got the painted brake calipers in gloss black with the red Brembo decals. Those are looking mightily fine. And if we come round to the other side just quickly, we can see over here, behind the gold wheels, looking very, very nice. Exactly how we were hoping that was going to be. And also, the guys have just done the gold badges, front and rear, on the carbon as well. Those have come out perfectly. In fact, all of this has come out exactly as intended at the start of this video. Even the rear one just being heated in now to make sure that's precise and perfect. But everything pretty good. So the front calipers are painted. The rear calipers have also been done in the gloss black back here. This is all grease, by the way, in the wheel hub, so that's not going to be on show, just in case you're wondering. But yeah, not bad. We might have to upgrade the brakes if we do some significant engine mods in due course. But those, the gold wheels and the touches on the interior have all come out spot on. A few more bits and bobs have been done on the GTR. Obviously some trimming still to go, but you can see the main A-pillar through to the rear quarter, the rear deck also. So this car will be completed and will be on the Drive Tribe stand at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, where we'll be hosting some schmeetings. So come along and see the new look yellow GTR. The Focus RS is also going to be lurking around Goodwood, so hopefully some of you guys will be able to see that there at the Festival of Speed. Always one of the greatest events of the year, taking place in just a couple of days' time. So plenty of videos from that to come when that is finished. And in a moment, we'll be taking that out as well. There we go. The car is back down on its own wheels and ready to be taken home. This brings us to the end of stage 1 with the RS Red Edition project car that now has a nickname. This car shall be known as the Red Rocket. So far, we've been focusing on the visual side of things while the engine builds up some mileage, but supporting the carbon fibre Aero Kit from Ventus Veloce and the interior from Prototrim, we've now added 5 new parts. So the gold wheels, which were painted at Posh Wash, supported by the black brake calipers done here at Dub Customs with the red logos. We've also got the gold decals for the RS logos around the car, and on the inside, the installation of the new steering wheel and gear shift knob from SS Tuning. So this is just the beginning, but some sporty touches to add to the awesome look of this thing. It's bold, it's unique, that's for sure, but in future, we'll also be looking at the engine, the suspension, the exhaust, some additional carbon fibre components. For example, the door mirror caps I think need to go carbon fibre, some of the interior trim as well, for example in the center console. I also need to replace the door sills, but do let us know in the comments down below, do you think the car should get the wide arch kit from SS Tuning? What else do you think I should do with it? I mean, this is a project. It's here to be changed in just about every way we can change it. So the car will be down at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Be sure to come and check it out if you're in the area. But a big thanks to Posh Wash and of course also to Dub Customs for their help in getting this finished to the end of stage 1 with the Red Rocket. This is, like I said though, just the beginning. Stay tuned for what's in store. That was a bad pun, I'm sorry, but there will be plenty more to come, and I will see you again next time. Cheers.